But I guess that's where like it's the blessing and curse of it all. Because here's the thing: I'm not a fan of the world I couldn't compete in, and I couldn't compete in the last world, and I can only compete in this current version of it. Like there was no way I was competing in music with the way my life was going and like, and I don't mean it to be like it's impossible, but like back in the day, you needed real hookups or some shit to make it happen. In this era, I start my like little hustles and shit in 2012. Being from now, like it's the most you can actually do it from pretty much any socioeconomic class possible era ever. Doesn't really matter
Yeah,
where you're from, and
I love now.
I
I
kind
think
of like
now's
that
great.
more. But I'm not. It's not lost on me because I've talked to guys like Nunzio who described working in real studios back in the day, or I've talked to all these different people who have contextualized just like back when you made the Beastie Boys album there, the second one with the crazy amount of samples, they would have had to like project manage that shit, like with like charts and shit to make sure that when they're slicing every fucking sound together, it was perfect, because otherwise it would have not been perfect. That's not what we
Mhm.
do now. We don't have to plan as much. We can experiment just more
That's
willy nilly, and it's a blessing and a curse. Like I found out that you can just set the BPM in a DAW, and then you don't have to align stuff as much effort, because I didn't know that, and I spent so much time making my life harder for the last year and a half. But I know the Pocket better now because I had to learn the Pocket because I didn't know how to make my life easier. So I'm sliding
mhm.
and shit. So it's like I got a little taste of what making your life harder does to your creative process, and how easiness is not always the
Yeah, man.
best.
But like, all right, even like for me, all the albums I brought out, apart from the last one, Watership Down, I've created. So I made the beat. I made because I always wanted to make sure it was a journey.
Mm.
You know, that's my thing. If I'm going to present something, I want to try and be able to present a journey. Apart from the last album, which is a journey, but I met a producer called Daniel Champion, and this guy, I was bored. I went online bored, and I said, "Yo, someone send me some beats," and he sent me like 4 beats. I think I wrote for free that night, and then sent it back to him 2 days later. So he sent me like four more. And then I ended up with about 15, 16 beats from this guy. And within 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I've written Watership Down.
Mm.
And the concept of that album is like the actual story of it is it's a play that we used to have to learn in school. And this it's a book about rabbits trying to find greener pasture but having to fight political and social injustice in the story. And we would have to comment about this in school. It was banned because it was just loads of rabbits getting killed like graphically and bloodily all over the place. One of these kind of weird stories that we had to learn, but at the same time, it made such an influential statement on me at the time. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna rewrite this, but in a different way.
Mm.
I'm gonna put a 2018 spin on it. And in doing it, it opened up a different chapter of writing for me because now I'm not trying to be so barsy and lyrical. I'm trying to be more just like the MC I always kind of like to listen to.
Mm.
I like to listen to the Commons. I like to listen to Skinny Man. Kalashnikov was so dope. Like if I tell you some of the UK heads we grew up on, I used to love that energy. So this last album was just a flex to me because I just wanted to flex. I didn't want to have to be barsy. I didn't want that. I just wanted to make good music and finish it on that tone. This album's gonna be just an album about good music. I put two bar tunes on it, Duppy that and another one, but that's because we all like to have fun. But primarily, the album is literally just me making music I actually always wanted to make
Mm.
on Watership Down. And that one was like a very fulfilling album for me. But everything has its journey. Every album I did has its journey. and it's brought me to a place now where I appreciate making music for more wholesomeness than anything.
I feel that. I really do. Like, it's
You
like,
know, I don't try to make to a formula. I hate that. I've never done it. Like, honest to God, if you hear, I've been making beats since '96. So like the variety of music I have is insane, insane. Like I go from all types of spectrums because I never wanted to be a niche producer, even though I think it's great. If someone can come to you for a tailored sound, it makes it easier for them to like come to you for something,
mm,
you know. But I'm someone that will give you something so out of the box that you have to really think, wow, how do I work this one? Because I want you to do that. For me, that I get more out of that than giving you something you conventionally sit on. I want to give you something that you would have never thought you'd hear yourself on.
mm,
But how you came on it was great. And maybe because I'm from Britain, it gives me a different license, you know, because you don't expect the norm. You don't expect me to give you the formula music. Like even sometimes when I used to do the EO Beats challenge, they're like, "Yo, I thought I was gonna go more grime," and I'm like, "Well, I'm not a grime dude. If you actually hear it, like you know, like I rap with them grime MCs, and I don't feel the same
mm.
because the pocket is different. That pocket is so different. Like the energy, how you work it, the 4 bars, the mantras, it's different.
Mm.
So I know my pocket, I know my lane, and I like to sit in that pocket and just do it well. But because I come from a jungle tradition, I know how to be a jungle MC. Because I come from ragga, I know how to spin on my ragga face. Because I come from hip hop, it gave me so much dynamics to work with. Because I was a Rascas fan as big as I was a Outcast family. You know, I love Dungeon. You get me? The whole Dungeon Squad, that shit used to get me at one stage. That Excalibur tune blew my mind. I was like, wow, I can make music like this. This is next level. You know, the licenses that you get to make. And then obviously with my upbringing being all African Caribbean drumming and dancing, that triggers me into different time patterns. You know, like we speak generally on 4/4 basis, 3/4 if we want to swing it.
Mm.
But they're working on 6/9s and 7/8s and things like this where you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
just to interject, that's time signatures in music, which is
mhm.
like because not everybody's gonna know what you just said,
Okay, yeah, exactly, yeah.
which
But those time
you can
signatures,
Google a
when
time
you're dealing
signature.
with that, you're doing 6/9 at about a 140,
Mm.
but playing live, you know. When this guy's hitting the bell and going din 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 din, and he's got to hold that for 5 minutes, steady, arm lock. That's like to me next level training,
I
and
mean,
it gives you.
cause like I always wondered about that, cause like I don't think people know how much of American music is in C major or E, I think one of those two, and four
Mhm.
by four four. Like almost all of it is just in that. Like there's not a lot of real
Exactly,
variety in American music, as much as we might think there is. Like it's really like
but that's because of the scale system. So when you go in Africa, you go more pentatonic and the off signatures. It's like Japanese; they work on a different scale system.
mm,
So which I believe then taps into different frequencies because music is all frequency. Yeah. So if you never have a taste of the other side, you can lose your mind to that. You know,
mm.
I watch people dance and lose their mind, and because all right, I'm raised spiritual because of it. It's raised me very spiritual. because I've seen, like, for instance, there might be a dance and the man's gonna wear a mask, something simple like that, a mask. If he doesn't do the right prayer before he does that dance, good luck. Yeah, because he can get taken over. This guy can spin himself off stage, spirits take over, and I've seen it happen. I've watched it happen countless of times where I'm like, that's amazing. I didn't even know it was possible, but this guy just caught a spirit, and because he didn't do this prayer or this ceremony before he did that dance, that's it. He's in another whole place. Or that female, she might just start vomiting in the mask because she didn't do the right thing before it. So spiritually, it raised me knowing that music has spiritual effect. If you know what I mean, it's not just
I,
a feel good feeling or a time signature. It has a spiritual effect.
I mean, I believe that. I know that the music I listen to is affects my mood or reflects my mood or both. Sometimes it goes from
Mm-hmm.
reflecting to, usually it goes from reflecting to affecting. Starts off like you're in a sad mood, so you put on a sad song, then you listen to a lot of sad stuff, and now the sad stuff influences your whole attitude. So then I'll make sad
Mm-hmm.
music, and like I don't know, I can't say I'm that
Now,
worldly with
all
my
right.
music to go that deep on
So
it that
imagine you're
front,
talking about.
but I know it from an emotional point of view, I guess.
All right. Imagine you're talking about a mood and a reflection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine I'm talking that as a language.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is no more. This is no longer a mood or a reflection. It's now an actual language. I want you to tap into something. So this, for instance, you had a dance called Tokwe, and Tokwe, I believe, dealt with fertility. So this is like a woman's coming of rights and so forth, like this. So in this, through the dance, it's telling the whole language, a whole story.
Right.
It's telling you a whole rite of passage. So it's no longer just an emotion, it's a language. Yeah. And that's when music to me is different
Okay.
because most people take it as a feeling and emotion, where I've actually seen it used as a language. It's something that invokes way more than that.
Okay.
You know, it,
I mean, what you're saying makes sense to me, right? Because like as much as I mean, I describe it like that and the influence. I do believe that there's more to it than just the mood of it. Like, I believe music is a vessel of communication, and so I guess a language. Like, to me, it
mm-hmm,
expresses something, whether it's vapid or meaningful. Even vapid is still expression. It's just what it is
mm-hmm,
and how it speaks. But, like, yeah, no, I mean, I hear different beats and they feel different. And I feel like, I've always like thought like some sounds have like a color associated with them in my head, whether it's a real thing or not. Like it's just a feeling. But I use the word feeling because it's what I know to describe it. But I get what you're saying because like language to me is really linked to feeling, so that's why I use that word. So when I think about it, like this emotional language, like to me they're really linked.
yeah, but I actually mean a language. So, for instance, they said slavery times. Yeah, the way you knew how to get to the mountain is when
Mm,
they beat the drum. It was a language. It was telling you run to the mountain, turn here. It's almost like Morse code, if you
okay.
was to imagine. So it speaks. Yeah, they got a thing called a talking drum. And when the talking drum plays, it speaks. It can talk to the whole community. So there's a feeling in music which everyone's gonna get because music's always gonna give you a feeling. But then this is music being used as a language. Is how
Okay.
I was raised, which is very different. It's not the average person's experience. But for instance, if you was maybe Turkish, yeah, and the music's playing, the master drummer is gonna play the dalbuka, yeah, and that dalbuka is gonna play a language that people can actually understand if you're of that musician lineage, you know, and because music of the African diaspora came from griots and stories and things like this. It is a language that's passed down. So that dance of fertility is a language. It's more than just a music and a feeling, if you know what I mean. It's customary. It's a It's like, I can't even explain it. Yeah, I think I've explained it.
No, I mean
It's
I think you're doing a great job of contextualizing it different than just what I'm describing. Because I get what you're saying. Like it's not the same thing. And when you put it like that, it reminds me of Jewish stuff. Because like
mm-hmm,
all the music in Jewish hymns and prayers are just they're not just songs. They all have like a purpose, a ritualistic
exactly.
something, or the way the cantor will do prayers to communicate shit. I don't understand any of it, bro. I just watched the dude kind of do his thing, but like I know there's a
Mm-hmm,
lot more to it, and like there's a lot of training that goes into doing that in a way to talk to people, and everybody there who does know that shit knows that shit.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I can feel that from like I guess the times I've been in synagogue. I can see what you're saying, Mark.
Yeah, exactly. It's the language. You will get that, especially in things like that, in religious settings. Yes, because those mantras and so forth are there for a reason.
Right.
You know, they're invoking whatever Holy Spirit you're calling for. So to be raised in this, like I don't know, they might say I'll be a man or bush doctor, but to me, I know a lot of good people like that.
Mm.
Real good people that do use what people will call dark arts to do good things. They heal like nothing. Hand over the stomach and tell your mom about 3 kidney stones she had in a thing that was giving her back pain for time that the doctor's not been able to see in the last 6 months, and heal her with ointments and remedies. Things like this. I'm very much raised in that fashion.
Okay.
Very spiritual minded, very from that perspective, which then is probably why I resonated more with the conscious minded hip hop to a degree, because sometimes conscious to me is moaning, it's like people pointing fingers. And I'll be honest, some people make it sound like that you could get conscious, but then there's just rapping without solution. And that's just pointing fingers, moaning. And then you get people that actually have consciousness can just be feel good, you know?
Mm.
That's also a different dynamic. It doesn't mean you've got to take your brain on some deep depth, and no, you just got to feel good and invoke a good message. Yeah, that is more conscious than half of the moaning that goes on. To
I
me,
completely agree with you. I mean, like I how you call it like indie rappers rapping for rappers.
yeah,
That's the best way I
you
put
know,
it. It's just like no, you're just rapping for rappers and the people that like listening to rappers who, because like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy and weird things when you do album reviews and you start really listening to all 17 tracks on the album next to each other. Yo, your
uh-huh.
whole perspective
Yeah, of
changes
course,
on what people
of
are
course,
actually
you
saying.
know,
So I get you,
like
man.
it's crazy. So, like for me, like to be conscious, my next conscious album would just be a feel good album. It would be something that I could play in pretty much any circumstance and just enjoy.
I
That
feel like on top of that, like I don't know, maybe I'm just happier in life, but that has reflected in the music I listen to. And I feel like
Mhm.
dance is way more important to me. And if there's not a danceability to the mood, I'm not as interested in even my older music. I don't really want to listen to it. I'm not in the headspace for my older shit right now. Maybe one day, but like now, I'm on some new shit, and like it either got to
Uh-huh.
dance or I'm just rapping to rap to put it on Spotify and shit, and I'm never gonna perform it. Like I don't want to perform that.
That's it. But again, anything I do, I would love to perform.
Mm.
I'll tell you the only problem with that is I don't remember half of my bars. That's why I'm an amazing freestyler. Yeah. when if I got to remember a stage show, I'm gonna kill the stage show. If we go to a cipher and you tell me to rap writtens, forget about it. That's just like a no for me
I'm with that.
because it doesn't come to my brain. But if you tell me to freestyle, I generally freestyle as good as most people pen. So I feel
I mean, I've
comfortable
watched you
like that.
freestyle, and I do believe you freestyle as good as most people's pen. I will say that's facts.
Thank you, thank you. That's training though, man. As years of training, I've been in the dojo with it. Yeah, and it half of my thing was, how do you freestyle one without saying the same words? Yeah, this is like little tricks that I trained myself for years. Yeah, freestyle without saying the same words. Yeah, because people have like, and without telling people. So like, I used to stray so hard from saying off of the dome or anything like that.
Mm.
Yeah, because that way it's like you're giving people a license to say it's okay if I fuck up. Yeah, it's off of the dome. You get me? Oh yeah.
Bro,
No,
I
I wanted to
absolutely
sound
say
so
that
tough.
shit. If I think what I'm rapping is trash, the second I know I'm trash, but I have to keep rapping, I'm gonna drop the it's off the
See,
dome. It's the first
off
move.
the dome. It's a license,
It's
right?
trash.
That's my dojo. My personal dojo was I don't do that. No off of the dome. Yeah, I'm going to find words that make sure I never go to off of the dome.
Mm.
That was first, and then I trained on the next level of right. Pick topics, Yusuf. Yeah, and rap freestyle about a topic for at least a minute. Yeah,
Mm.
just stay because that's the next freestylers thing. Freestylers would just rap whatever comes to their head, isn't it? And my cap is red and my t-shirt's black, and they know about me because it's a matter of fact, whatever rhymes. Yeah, but then if you went to the cap is red and t-shirt's black, and then tried to tie it all up, you get me? The cap is red, the t-shirt's black. In French, they say noir, and that's a fact. And you can see by the red, I could be repping Bumpton, and now I'm connecting red and black in so many ways that you're thinking, okay, is this written? Because somehow he's managed to just stay on these two topics, but make 20 different sentiments about it, you know?
Right.
And that's my personal trainings to me. That is how I train that freestyle side of me. So I don't worry about when I go to the radio ciphers and these things. I just generally let go.
That's fair, man. I did how-to tutorial videos, and I didn't want to script them because I found out it was faster if I made it up on the spot. So I had to.
Improv wins every time, man.
I mean, okay, no, that's not true. If your shit's 30 minutes and it's a real webinar, script that motherfucker to the don't even trust yourself. If it's professional and you gotta like not swear and it's gotta be super clean, like there's a time. But if that shit's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, nah, it's not even worth scripting it. I can make the shit up as I go and it'll be alright.
Yeah, trust.
And especially if you're recording it and you can hit delete. I just like it would take me just as much time to write it and practice it as it would, and I could do like a 3 minute video in an hour all in. So like, well, you know, it just take that long to write the shit. So like, why?
Yeah,
And then
straight.
I realized when it came to topics later on, that shit really helped because basically I was freestyling tutorial videos. It's not rapping, but you're still doing the words part. And then I was able to just talk about shit while rapping because you can just talk about shit if you know what you're going to talk about on that subject. And then it's just making it rhyme, which, I mean, you should be able to make it rhyme, I suppose.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to keep going. It's like 10:22 by me. I know it's like even way later by you, but like I do have to go to work tomorrow. So like,
The reality of life,
yeah,
man.
and I really
Same here.
appreciate this. I didn't even think it was gonna go this late, but it was really dope. So I didn't even want to like end it, but like it did get to a point where
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like I'm hungry.
Yeah,
um,
listen, gonna have one of those good night beddy ones for me before the work life kicks in tomorrow.
mm,
You know,
that's what it is.
got that good
But
early shifts. But
I really appreciate you doing this in light of that, because in case y'all don't even know, this guy's in the UK, so it's 2 something in the morning, middle of the night shit. And that's some real trooper. And it's really cool that you came through and did this with us, because, it's super interesting to hear from you. And anybody from the UK, it's like a blessing, because, again, it's just such a different perspective, such a different life. And honestly, you don't get a lot of I was there perspectives. You get a lot of pop YouTube perspectives. So,
of course.
arguably, this can turn into a YouTube perspective for someone else, but that's not, for me at least, it's more like personal. But like, all that to say, I appreciate you coming in and doing this. I appreciate everyone that came through to like watch it too. Do you have do you have any like upcoming anythings that you want to plug or promote before we like end it?
Well, obviously there's the new Guardz that I sent you the other day.
Yeah.
This is like my collective. You know, we do a lot of, started off as a little crew 5 years ago that spoke over WhatsApp on some like-minded vibes. And then we started realizing, let's just start putting on shows. We don't need promoters. We don't need nothing. We can do all of this. So we started putting on people that we like, people that maybe never got their shot in the scene or needed it. And yeah, it went into a nice vibe from that New Guard situation. So when I watched the New Guards, we ended up deciding to build the album and making it into a full thing. So recently we released the album, the documentary, which is called Tribe. The album's called Tribe. The documentary is Tribe, Formation of a Brotherhood. That's just come out. So that's got me super gassed at the moment. I'm bringing back End of the Week this year. EO Dub England is alive again this year. Brand new logo. That's our new logo now. So this is what we're doing over here. Got it panned out in a way where hopefully a 6 cities tour with a Grand London UK final shot as a series and then pitched at the end. This is kind of the whole prospect. So that's kind of really what I'm looking forward to doing this year. Album wise, I'm 40 this year, so I'm gonna put out the big 40/40 album. You get me? I think I'm gonna call it Wine as well. Just getting better over time kind of thing. The berries are sweetening, so I'm looking forward to that too. That should be coming out. And yeah, the rest of the year's got so many little things. Snapshot, which is like an art project that I'm involved with. And we showcase different artists over here, visual arts, so drawings and clay animations and everything. That's coming next month. So yeah, it's quite a lot of plans coming out. But music-wise, go get that Tribe album, and I'll have that 40/40 coming up real soon.
That's dope, Stills. But yo, Big Ox, what is your question?
Yo, Mas, where are someone?
Where are my lad?
Everything blessed, singing up. Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I didn't have a real question. I just had to. We about to put Vice album out. Can I get, and then we'll get a little promo. Can I get like a video drop for me, like a little quick short one? You know what I mean?
What for Vice?
Yeah.
All day, bro. All
just
day,
like bigging them up. You know what I mean? Saying like the Crown album coming. You know what I mean?
Listen,
type 2.
I'll do that one time. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yes.
If they
please.
never know, get to know. This is me, Mas Law, talking. Fully missing my brother Vice. Yeah.
Well, wait, Mas. I'm saying, can you shoot it for me and send it to me?
Send them one. Soon as we done, I'm gonna send that over.
So I'm gonna send my email in your WhatsApp. I think you might have it though, but in I don't know. Or maybe like a Google Drive or I don't know, Dropbox.
Just WhatsApp and I'll send that to you, brother.
Yeah, WhatsApp, easiest way.
Yeah,
got that.
Give me the number on time.
We'll do that one time and we'll make sure it's all familyed up.
What's the number?
Hold on, I'm not gonna give the number. We're still live.
We're still live.
Wait, my fault.
On the live. I have random people calling me up. Hi.
All right.
Hi, Mas. I heard your thing the other day. I thought you was rather sweet.
So on that note, appreciate everyone here. Shout out Big Ox. Y'all, he's a vibe. That's all I can say about Big Ox. Big vibe.
All the love,
But I appreciate you coming through, man. You got a lot going on, and you're a super interesting dude. And this is a super great episode. So with that, like, I also just wanted to give love to the people who came through with us, who stuck it through for the hours, the people who waited as we discovered there were time zone differences between our two countries because the shit changed over the
I was
weekend.
bang on this 5 hours thing, and then they got the surprise like that was 8 over here. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was also feeling that way, and we all learned together. It's the beauty of the information era.
Yeah, this is what happened.
But
then
yeah,
people start playing with our calendar, and then there you go, man. Calendar and time is gone.
So with that though, shout out all of you who stuck it through, and those of you who watch this in the future, appreciate y'all. Links in description and all that good stuff. But also big thanks to End of the Week, right? Because that we wouldn't be here without End of the
All
Week.
day, man. All day.
This is the End of the Week network. We all on here. I'm in Mas Law with the UK. I'm over in Quebec. There's a whole chapter here. This is some New York. It's a good moment, you know what I mean? It's cool to see how much countries can be involved in the End of the Week fucking movement as it is and as it's growing. And I think that's a blessing. So shout out to End of the Week for creating that kind of ecosystem for the world and shit. So y'all go follow them at EODUBEODub.com. That's your best choice.
EODub.com.
It's your best. It's the easiest place because it's just easier that way. And then you can find all their stuff there. Shout out everybody for that. Honestly, it's been a really wonderful conversation again. Appreciate everybody out there who did stick it through with us. And yeah, I guess that's all I got to really say. So, live long and prosper,
Big love, honor, respect, yo.
Appreciate that.